Well, again, I am calling in remotely from West Palm Beach, Florida, but I don't think that that has diminished our time together in any way, shape, or form. You can see my screen, you can see me, and we're going to dive right into the content. I know Chris will continue to let people into the room. We've got 7 people, in fact, in the waiting room right now, which is crazy. We're just growing and growing and growing, which is great. All right. Now, today, the very third session of the 4-part series. We're more than halfway through our series together. And I have to tell you, it is, to me, one of the most exciting and one of the most important conversations that we're going to have through the whole 4-part series, which is all about media outreach. I want to ask right now if you can add into the chat. Do you ever feel like you just can't seem to break into the media spotlight? Does it seem as though those big stages, those big TV cameras and microphones are just a little out of reach? And because of that, you remain the best kept secret in your industry? Do you feel that? If that's true for you, put yes in the chat. I'd love to hear from everyone and just understand if this is kind of where you're at right now. If you feel like, yes, you know what? I have built something incredible, and I know I offer incredible value, and I know I am a trusted expert, but I am not getting the recognition, the visibility, the real opportunities that I know I'm ready for. They all still feel a little out of reach. Well, I got to tell you, that's exactly what we're here to change today. In this session, we're going to focus on helping you pitch and position yourself as the go-to expert in your space. We'll talk about how to show up for podcast interviews. We'll talk about what you need to do to prepare for media features, high visibility opportunities with clarity, with confidence, and with credibility. You'll walk away with real world strategies, not theory, but actionable tools to help you get noticed, get invited, and get featured. Sound good? Because visibility is more than just showing up. It's about showing up in the right places with the right message for the right audience. And that's one of the reasons why we spent so much time in the first 2 weeks talking about the right audience for you and the right message to deliver to that audience. So now we're going to talk about the right place. And let me just say, when you show up in the right places with the right message and the right audience, you not only grow your authority and revenue, you grow your impact. So let's turn that quiet brilliance into bold visibility. Your time is now. All right. So a couple reminders before we get going. And we went through these last week, but I'm just going to note them again for anyone that wasn't able to come last week. Just a few quick reminders to help all of us get the most out of today. First, please make sure to mute yourself unless you're speaking. This helps everything run smoothly for everyone. Know that AI recording devices are not allowed, so we encourage you to take notes, stay engaged, and be ready to participate. Now, this session is dedicated to you to raise your visibility, to expand your reach, to attract your ideal clients to you. So be sure to respond, to ask questions, and take action. And yes, if you want to win any of the raffles or giveaways that we offer every single week, you've actually got to be here and be present. Now, I am so excited to see all the activity in our community page. It's absolutely been lit up. And I hope all of you have seen all of the comments and the suggestions, the recommendations, sometimes the rewrites that I've offered. I've offered just about everybody direct feedback on the homework that you've shared in community. And that's why we have a dedicated community page. So don't hold back. Share your exercises, share your insights, share your ideas. You'll never know who you might just inspire. Let me just say your voice matters here. And I encourage all of you to weigh in on everyone else's homework, everyone else's exercises, because it's not just my opinion that matters. It's all of us working together. So, absolutely share your perspective. Let someone know when their message lands. Let them know when their message missed the mark and why, because that's how we grow. So, again, I hope all of you have seen my comments and suggestions of the community page. And I am very excited to see everyone who is offering their unique perspective and thought leadership too. I also want to take a moment to congratulate our leadership board leaderboard winners. So, Rosemary, you are knocking it out of the park. Rosemary Keogh Smythe is top of our leaderboard every single week. She is in there. She is offering homework. She attends. She participates. She offers feedback to other members. She is knocking it out of the park. She is a true community leader. I also really want to give a big warm shout out to Amanda Taylor, who is absolutely brilliant, offering so much feedback, so much perspective, so much thought leadership. And she also has shared her messaging, her audience, everything that we've asked all of you to get active on. She is definitely committed to. Laura Patterson, Laura Neubauer, Susan Younger, all of you have played full out. And I am so, so excited that you have taken success in your own hands. You have owned your results. You're showing up fully and you're leaning into this incredible community, which again, I am so, so excited about. This is our time to grow together. And in fact, we offered a bonus session last Friday. And it was designed as kind of a hands-on workshop so we could all work together on our messaging and our audience. And it was so well received that we're offering a second bonus workshop session this Friday. There was such enthusiastic participation, our last workshop, that we're doing it again this Friday at the same time. So that's 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. You'll see it in our community board in the calendar. It's noted there. And after today's session, you'll be getting an invitation to join us on Friday. It's the same Zoom link. So it is exactly the same opportunity to join through Zoom, but it's for a workshop this Friday. All right. Now, before we jump in, I want to thank all of you that have invested in your success by joining leadHERship Global. There have been so many new members that have joined leadHERship Global through this really amazing masterclass. Many of you have taken advantage of our value-added bonuses that we offer every single week, which is so smart. And within the leadHERship Global community, just remember, you have some really distinctive opportunities. So I'm going to preview some of our bonuses for this week and some of your opportunities in leadHERship Global right from the start. So many of you are leadHERship Global members, and if you are having a phenomenal experience, I would invite you to add that into the chat and tell everyone about the kind of privileges and benefits and opportunities you've experienced in leadHERship Global. But we offer three distinctive opportunities. One, we help you expand your influence and your visibility. So you're going to hear an awful lot about that in the next hour. But that's one of the ongoing benefits that we always offer in leadHERship Global is to expand your influence and visibility. Second, we help you build powerful connections and collaborations. Many of the women in leadHERship Global have started, built, scaled, and exited multiple businesses at multiples of 10 and 15. These are women who are serial entrepreneurs and remarkably connected, incredibly successful. And we've also have women that run nonprofits or solopreneur enterprises, or they bootstrap their business to become now a global enterprise. You have the opportunity to connect with women from all stages of entrepreneurship to the highest, most elite levels of success. And you have the opportunity to develop partnerships, joint ventures, collaborations with women all over the world. And we ensure that we are dedicated to your success. Whatever you define as success for you, we invite you to accelerate your growth with expert guidance, much like this masterclass, But all of the women of leadHERship Global have unique expertise and knowledge and experience that they are more than happy to share with you. And so you have literally 10,000 women all over the world that you can learn with and grow with. I got to tell you, this is the most impactful community I've ever been a part of. And I'm a part of dozens of communities and still am a part of probably 7, I think right now, different communities. But members of this global leadership community build lifelong relationships with other purpose-driven leaders who have similar challenges and opportunities, and that really do match your experience level, your business acumen, your revenue level, your ambition. And so in my mind, listen, you want a place where it is warm and welcoming, where you're going to meet other executives who lead value-driven, growth-oriented businesses, but people who are deeply invested in your success. And in my mind, that is leadHERship Global. I got to tell you that my experience is building a business and making real impact can be really challenging. And you need a community around you to help solve the big challenges, to find valuable opportunities and accelerate your success. In leadHERship Global, we're going to help you get there. We're going to help you reach your most ambitious goals faster. And this week, we're offering incredible value-added bonuses to help anyone who has been on the fence about making the decision. These are incredible value-add bonuses within the theme of our session today, all about media access, and they will definitely help you land media opportunities. So again, if you have questions about leadHERship Global or any of the benefits that we're noting, these value-add benefits, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. All right, so now let's jump into today's presentation, and it's all about media and media access. So what are the top 4 things that media outlets are looking for in guests? Well, if you've ever wondered what media outlets are really looking for when they choose who to feature, this is it. Let's walk through the top 4 things that media outlets want to see in their guests and how you can show up as a clear yes for them every single time. Number 1, they look for someone they can trust. Media professionals need to know that you'll be representing their platform well. Now, as I said, I was the CMO for Scripps Networks, which means I had a lot to do with the celebrities that we chose to be on Food Network, HGTV, Fine Living, Great American Country, all the different networks of Scripps TV. Media professionals need to make sure that you, as a guest of their program, will represent their brand well. That means being credible, being likable, and being fully prepared. And a couple pro tips here: share testimonials. Like, let other people speak on your behalf. That builds instant trust. Also, use a professional headshot that clearly shows your face and eyes. You'll need both a vertical and a horizontal version of your headshot. So make sure you have both of those versions and even a full body photo if possible, because your presence matters. Number 2, media outlets look for someone who is competent and compelling. Let me just reiterate here that you're not just being interviewed, you're communicating a message that matters. So you want to post short videos of yourself answering questions or sharing insights about your brand. So I will tell you that we always looked for video clips of a potential guest or host of any of the programs. I worked for MTV, I worked for VH1, I worked for HGTV, Fine Living, Food Network. Every single media outlet out there wants to see videos of how you speak, how you move, how you hold attention. And you absolutely want to have that available to you. And they want to be sure that you can answer questions in 30 seconds or less. So be ready to answer questions briefly, succinctly. And if you don't have that ability right now, practice that. You'll even notice that through the masterclass, I ensure that I'm answering questions and providing hopefully actionable insight to you in quick 30-second sound bites. You have to practice that skill. Now, the last thing that I would say under that, another pro tip, is this sounds crazy, but make sure that you are sitting tall. You are making eye contact and you're being attentive. Your nonverbal communication speaks just as loudly as your words. So if you are not poised properly, if you are not making direct eye contact, if you're not being attentive to the host, they will not choose you. Number three, media outlets are looking for someone who is visionary and forward thinking. So can you take their audience on a journey? Can you show them what's possible, what that transformation looks like that you offer? A couple pro tips here. Make sure your message is simple and clear. Don't be clever. Don't be creative. You want to be direct. Speak at an eighth grade level because clarity creates connection. I would absolutely write that down. Clarity creates connection. You don't want to be clever or esoteric. You don't want to use puns. You don't want to use colloquialisms or, kind of catchphrases. You simply want to be simple and clear. Your job is honestly to be as insightful and easy to follow as possible. Don't overcomplicate your brilliance. Just let it shine. You know that saying your grandmother always had that you love quoting. Well, outside of your family, nobody else may get that. So don't use insider baseball. Don't use insider information or colloquialisms or pat phrases or cliches. Stay as far away from that as possible. No cliches. Don't overcomplicate it. Just let your brilliance shine. And lastly, someone who can inspire and effectively communicate. That is the last criteria, and in my mind, maybe the most important. The people that we chose to audition for media opportunities, media roles. I also worked as an anchor for a news station here in Dallas. Everybody we brought on that show, the news show, it was WFAA, which is a CBS station here in Dallas. Everyone that we brought on could communicate effectively. They were inspirational, they were positive, they were motivating, but most importantly, they could communicate in 30-second sound bites. So you don't need to be loud, but you do need to be absolutely lit up by your message. You need to be enthusiastic. Now, a pro tip here is to be a good character. Now, we use that language actually in the media. Someone who is compelling to watch and listen to. So you want to show up as your best self. I mean, be judged, right? Hair, makeup, clothing. You need to be absolutely purposeful in what you look like and what you sound like. They want someone who's compelling to watch, meaning physically you are attractive, but they also want someone who's compelling to listen to. You want to bring energy, bring warmth, bring purpose. And let me just say, if you're not excited about your brand, how can you expect anyone else to be? So when you show up, you want to be enthusiastic. You want to be emotional, right? Remember, media outlets aren't just booking experts. They're booking energy, clarity, connection. That's what they're looking for. And I know with the right tools, all of you are ready to be all of that and more. But do remember, if you're not excited about your brand, how do you expect anyone else to be? If you are excited and it shows through your mannerisms and your expressions, then you're going to be inspiring. You're going to be compelling, which is exactly what media outlets look for and what they want. Make sense? All right. So hopefully that's helpful, but just wait. We are going to give so much information about how to pitch your business to media. Now, your mission statement isn't just for your website or your business plan. It's a guiding light for how you show up in every single interaction. This is your chance to clarify your purpose right now, in this season of your work, in this moment of your leadership, not 10 years ago, not 5 years ago. Listen, nobody cares about glory days 20 years ago. They care about what matters to you right now. So ask yourself, how do I want my audience to feel? Do you want them to feel inspired, seen, encouraged, or empowered? Number two, what is my deliverable? What is the result or the transformation or the clarity that you're offering them? And number three, what do I want them to take away? That means, what do you want them to take action on, right? Or maybe you just want them to reflect more deeply, or maybe shift the way they think, but you have to be clear about what that takeaway is, right? Now, I would even suggest that these principles are important if you're a podcast guest. I see so many people joining podcasts with no mission statement, with no clear call to action, with no clear understanding of what they want that audience to feel. And I got to tell you, when you devise your mission statement, it's going to help you stay focused, even as your message evolves. This will keep you on point. It serves as a filter for what you say, how you say it, and ultimately why it matters. And when it's written in your authentic voice, it doesn't just inform, it inspires. So let's create a statement that feels like a true reflection of your purpose, one that moves both of you and your audience, into aligned action. Make sense? All right. So now we're going to talk about your core values. And you may be saying, core values, why would that matter? Like, I'm talking about being in front of the media. Why would my core values matter? Well, I have to tell you, it matters a lot, because what you stand for, it serves as the compass that guides your message, your brand, and how you lead. These are the values that shape much more than just your words. They help you decide what type of story you're going to tell, how you speak to your audience, how you present yourself in the world, and just as importantly, what you do not stand for, what is absolutely a non-negotiable. Your core values create boundaries and they create clarity. They help keep your messaging deeply aligned with your purpose. Now, I'm going to walk us through a quick exercise, but I will note that this exercise is also part of your homework. So you're going to have this available to you in the resource center, right? Under session 3 homework, because this is an incredibly important and I think valuable exercise. Take a moment to look at the list of values on this slide, or you can add your own. Choose 10 words that truly resonate with you. Don't overthink it, go with your gut. From those 10, narrow it down to your top 5 core values, the ones that feel like the deepest reflection of who you are, what you believe, and how you want to lead. Now write those 5 words down. These will serve as your brand anchors. These are words that you return to again and again and again when crafting your message, showing up in your business, and leading with intention. Because when your message is aligned with your values, it becomes not only powerful, but absolutely unshakable. Does that make sense? Now, this may be small for some of you if you're on a phone, a very small laptop. But if you can see them, I'd love for you to, in the chat, just add the 1 or 2 words that deeply resonate with you, where you say, oh my gosh, that's so me. That's absolutely me and what I'm all about. I would love for you to add that into the, did it just stop sharing again?
No, you're good.
You're fine.
Okay. Because when your message is aligned with your values, as I said, it becomes pretty unshakable. So we want to make sure that your values are clear, not only to you, but to your audience as well. So let's be sure that we have that down. I'm going to give everyone 5 minutes to look at the core value list, choose 5 words and add them to the chat. I'd love to see, again, don't overthink it, make it be just top of mind, but I'd love to see what is most important to you. I love it. So this is obviously a really important exercise that I believe matters, especially when it comes to being able to secure media. Now, I will say that alongside your core values, we are also going to focus on what is called your fantastic five-star qualities. This is your fantastic five-star qualities, and this is incredibly important. This is such a powerful exercise because it helps you frame how you talk about yourself. This helps you um, not just speak about your business in a esoteric sort of theoretical way. But this is a powerful exercise because it helps you frame how you talk about yourself and your business, not just in a way that feels authentic, but in a way that's truly aligned with how you want to be seen. And that is so important that you move away from marketing speak, you move away from your mission, vision, purpose statement in a way that's truly aligned with how you want to be seen. So, alongside your core values, these qualities will become your go to language when you're being interviewed, telling your story, introducing yourself to a new audience. You'll use them again and again and again to shape how you show up and how others remember you. So, here's how I'd love for you to complete this exercise. And again, this is part of your homework in the Resource Center. You're going to put a star next to 20 qualities that you believe you truly have. Go with your instincts here. These are your strengths, your gifts, and the traits that feel very much like you. From those 20, underline 10 that you think are your very best qualities. These are the ones that light you up, that guide your leadership. And finally, circle or highlight 5 of those qualities. Now, these are the ones that you want to be known for. These are the qualities that you want others to feel, to see, and to say about you. These are your five-star qualities. They're not just how you show up in your brand, they're how you shine in every single room you walk into. So it's important to make them intentional, make them visible, and celebrate the power in owning who you are. And that's why this exercise and your core value exercise is so incredibly important. All right. Now I'm going to talk about the keys to getting big media opportunities. If you want to land high visibility opportunities, that's like podcast interviews, media features, TV segments, it starts with one powerful ingredient: your story. So I'm going to invite you to start crafting your story today. It should be captivating, relatable. It should move your audience to take action. The best story positions you as a trusted guide. It helps showcase the transformation that only you can help create, right? So we talked a lot about transformation as we were nailing our message. So this is where you showcase that transformation in your story. But I got to tell you, story alone is not enough. There are 4 essential categories that you need to develop in order to ensure that you are chosen beyond everyone else in your category for those really elusive media opportunities: skill, preparation, qualities, and presence. So let's break those down. Clarity. Now, you saw this comment in many of the posts where you shared your homework, very generously shared your homework. In almost every single comment that I had an opportunity to make, I said, be sure that this is clear, concise, and simple, right? Because in one breath, you should be able to communicate who you are, what you do, and why it matters. Do you remember that framework that we created? The functional aspect of what you do, the experiential aspect of what you do, and the transformation or the outcome that you create. That's one sentence. It's a breath. In one breath, you should be able to communicate who you are, what you do, and why it matters. And if your message isn't clear, it simply will not connect, and you will not be chosen to be in those big media opportunities. Number 2, have a strong brand presence. Now, let me just say, first and foremost, that doesn't mean that you need to have thousands of social media followers, not at all. But you do need to have a polished, professional presence. And tools like Canva can make it really easy to create clean, branded visuals that reflect the leader that you are. I know that we all think that, our visual representation of who we are and the way we look and the way we present ourselves shouldn't matter, but it does. And so, especially to the media, if you come across as professional, if you have strong brand presence, if you look polished and professional, you are much more likely to get the big opportunities. Next, effective communication. Again, can you answer questions in short, memorable sound bites? If you are taking 5 minutes versus 30 seconds, you're not going to be chosen for those big media opportunities. So you have to get to a place where you can articulate what you do in a way that's concise and compelling. Fewer words, more impact. Practice speaking clearly and with heart. And again, keep in mind that no one's going to remember the specific adjectives or adverbs that you use to describe your business. What they're really going to remember is your passion. They're going to remember that you were lit up during that interview about what you do. So fewer words, more impact. That's what you're going for. And next, confidence and clear speech. Media loves energy, conviction, approachability. So speak like you're talking to your best friend, right? I often think about the people I care most about in the world, being able to explain to them what I do or what I'm passionate about or the offer or opportunity that I'm providing and making sure they get it. So be conversational, not performative, right? So many of us feel like we're on a stage and we need to perform. Nope, no big words needed. Just a powerful point of view. Stay away from cliches, please. Stay away from pat answers. Stay away from colloquialisms or jargon or, all those business cliches that you hear all the time. Stay miles away from those. You don't need to use big words. You don't need to use catchphrases. You just need to have a powerful point of view. And lastly, I would say preparation matters. Know the most common questions that you're going to be asked and practice your response. Practice in front of the mirror. So you should know what is likely to come up in an interview, and you should have those answers at the ready. And I would really suggest that you record yourself, practice with a friend, build muscle memory so that you're absolutely ready for anything that an interview might toss your way. And don't forget, visuals sell stories. So if you have photographs, if you have testimonials, screenshots, videos that support your message, include them. Media outlets definitely want proof. And finally, ladies and the few brave men that are with us, have courage. Be willing to be seen. Be willing to be heard. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be prepared and passionate about your message. Because decision makers, those people in media that were like me, choosing guests, choosing celebrities, choosing shows, they're looking for four things: someone they can trust, someone who's competent, someone who's forward thinking, and someone who's inspirational. And I know with full confidence that you already have all four of those inside of you. So let's help you show the world. All right. So these are the stories that you need to be, excuse me, in the media. This is what is going to help you land those media opportunities. There are 7 stories that every great storyteller can speak to. Number 1 is the intro story. This is the who you are, what you do, what you've done, what you represent, and why you do what you do kind of story. So this is often referred to as your why story, but it should not be a play-by-play of your life. Do not reiterate your life in chronological order, right? There's nothing more deadly. What you really want to do is explain your why in a 30-second quick little sound bite and maybe talk about your origin story in a way that led you to your why and helps you create the business you now have, right? Even when you meet someone, they would say, well, I went to this college, I graduated with this degree, this was my first job. I quickly learned I didn't want to do that, so I pivoted, and then I did this for a few years, and then I did that, and now I found myself here. Well, you didn't ask that question. All you really said is, what are you doing? Who are you? What are you passionate about? When you introduce yourself in your intro story, this is not permission to give a play-by-play of your life. This is an invitation for you to talk about your why. All right. Next is the attention story. This is a story that most of us are familiar with. This is the type of story that you often see on YouTube with millions of likes. This is the wow story. It's the dramatic story that finishes with some sort of amazing result. And if that amazing result is created because you worked with one of your clients and transformed their life, this is an even more amazing story. So you always want to make your clients the hero of this story. You always want to make the people that have invested time and money with you the hero of the story in terms of the transformation that they were able to experience. So the attention story is the story that, again, captures everyone's attention. On YouTube, you'll see these stories with millions of likes because it's the wow story. But again, you want to make the hero of this story the people you work with, not you. All right, the money story. From a business perspective, this is a story that proves that listeners will make money using your product or service after working with you, right? So this is the proof that anyone who works with you is going to make money. Now, this can also be a personal story. I had no money, I earned money, I lost everything, and then I earned it back tenfold, right? Something like that. That is a powerful story. Listen, everybody roots for the underdog. Everybody wants to believe that even in the midst of tremendous, spectacular failure, there's still hope, right? And if you provide that hope, that is a tremendously powerful story. Next is the fear story. And from a business perspective, this is kind of the horror story of clients who went in a different direction. This is because they didn't invest with me, here's what happened, very sadly, right? They went out of business, they lost their house, whatever. Now, from a personal standpoint, this is a story about I was scared to death of something, but I gained the courage to try and I conquered my fear, right? So this is I was just stuck. I was really paralyzed by fear. I didn't have any confidence that I could do it. But then I know Linda told me I could. I got the courage to try. And now look, I'm an anchor on CBS News, right? So I would say that that can be a very powerful story too. Now, the ego story. From a business perspective, sometimes you have to showcase the work you've done without being arrogant, without being condescending. This is if they use your products or services, they will manage risk better, be more confident, look and feel great, achieve their dreams story, right? So this is the story that is all about possibility. This is the story that is all about opportunity. And so this can be an incredibly powerful story too. And it can focus on things like productivity. So, maybe it's not about you'll be able to manage risk better or be more confident or look and feel great or achieve your dreams, but it could be something like by doing business with you, your clients were more productive. They earned more money. They were able to work less. And that's just as seductive. Now, the security story has two aspects, business and personal. And this is a more sensitive story. So from a business perspective, it's my product or service will give listeners, so people that are listening to this, people that engage with me, my clients, my customers, peace of mind. Because I'm taking away a fear, a risk, a pit, a hole. Like I'm eliminating any kind of risk. That's the security story. But from a personal perspective, this is more of the my personal security was stolen from me story. This kind of story is usually reserved for anyone who has a very traumatic personal experience. My security was stolen from me when I was robbed at gunpoint. I went through the trials and tribulations of really trying to regain my sense of safety as well as my belongings. Through this program, I was able to, instead of being absolutely paralyzed by fear, I was able to become fearless, right? So this is really a story that should be reserved for someone with a very traumatic experience. And finally, the closing story. Now, again, from a business perspective, it's the why people should buy your product and why they should invest with you. Your mission with this story is to close the deal and make the sale. Now, from a personal perspective, this is how you end every story and presentation. You need to bring your concepts full circle. So this is kind of the tell them what you told them story by wrapping up any cliffhangers, wrapping up any loose ends. Now, with all these stories, you always want to end on a high note. You want to talk about the learning, the growth, the success that you were able to achieve after this experience. So keep in mind that you always want to leave everyone with a sense of hope, a sense of resilience as you're telling these stories. Now, this is going to be your homework. It's to choose one of these stories and start thinking about how you would craft your story. Again, you're not going to write it, but rather you're going to start thinking about what kind of message you want to share with the world. And the goal is simply to gain a better understanding of the 7 stories and how to tell them for you most effectively. Make sense? Now, I'd love to see which one of these stories resonates with all of you most, right? Right off the bat, you're like, oh my gosh, I am definitely telling the introduction story, the closing story, the fear story. Add them into the chat. What is the story that represents you feel most accurately, most authentically? What is that story? Okay. Now, as you think about that, I'm going to move us over to the next section, which is all about media training and tricks. Now, the first thing I would say, the number one thing to remember about doing a media interview, this is not about answering a reporter's questions. Absolutely not. This is about telling your story. And you use every question that they ask you as a way to bridge back to the story you want to tell. So a couple tips here. One, don't be afraid of the interview. This is a huge opportunity. This is amazing. And keep in mind that the great majority of reporters are very cordial people who are not out to harm you. They just want to get a story that will satisfy their readers, their listeners, their viewers. They want to feel great about the interview too, because it helps their career and it helps their brand. Next, I would say absolutely don't wing it. I mean, please don't show up just winging it. You have to come prepared with notes regarding that topic. You have to be practiced. You have to be ready with a 30-second response to any question. And if you don't know the answer to a question, it's okay to say, really don't know. But here's something I do know, blah, blah, blah. Or, I'm not sure I've seen the latest statistics on that. But what I do know is an important trend in the industry is, right? So if you don't know the answer to the question, it's absolutely okay to say, I don't know that answer, but here's what I do know, right? Keep in mind also that, an interview is not a legal hearing. So it's absolutely okay to tell a reporter that some information is proprietary or you can't share it, or it's, it's not for public consumption. It's absolutely okay to say that. I really can't speak to the specifics of the deal, but what I can tell you is that we're hoping to make a big announcement by end of month. That's a fine way of handling that. While I can't share with you the specifics of the deal, the case, the inquiry, whatever. What it can tell you is, right, just because a reporter puts away a notebook or turns off a tape recorder, by the way, doesn't mean the interview is over. It doesn't mean that what you say now will not be used. It absolutely will. So anything you say can be used within the earshot of a reporter. So you don't want to, have him put away his notebook or his microphone, and then you say, well, actually, we are talking about it being a $30 million deal. And the reporter said, really, 30 million? Yeah, I just didn't want to say that on the record. Guess what? That $30 million deal number is going to be in the story. So whatever you don't want to answer, truly don't answer that. And know that while you're in the presence of the reporter, anything you say is fair game. Now, don't answer if you're not sure of a reporter's question. Always ask for a clarification. So if somebody says something like, well, what do you think is going to happen in the future? Well, I would always say, well, I don't really have a crystal ball, so I'm not really sure. But one of the things that I think is always true in economies like this is, right? So you don't necessarily want to forecast. But if I'm not sure what he meant by, well, what do you think is going to happen? I'd say, in what way? Economically, in terms of, our political environment, in terms of my business industry. Can you clarify for me? That's absolutely okay. You're always welcome to ask for clarification. Never say anything negative about anybody. I don't care if it's an individual or company. Don't ever say anything negative. Don't even vaguely throw shade, right? You don't even want to question anything about the integrity or the purpose or mission or vision of your competitors. You never say anything negative about any other person or company. And the last couple of things I would say is don't stray from the subject of the interview to comment on the day's news, because that's going to open up a whole new line of questioning. And what might have started in the news cycle that morning as a surprising breaking news story, by that afternoon could be scandalous, right? You've seen stories shift and change. And what I would say is do not make a comment. Do not make a comment, because what started out as an innocent, oh my gosh, did you know kind of storyline could end up being and they were jailed and they were indicted kind of story. So you want to be sure that you're not opening yourself up to that. Now, reporters do like facts and figures, right? They're not always just going to ask for conjecture. So instead of just voicing an opinion or making a conjecture, back it up with facts and figures. Absolutely no trends happening in your industry, no facts and figures about your business. And I think that that is going to set you very, very well in not only having that interview go swimmingly, but to also secure your position as a favored guest on any of the platforms that you're a part of. All right. Now, we're going to quickly, I know I have 10 minutes, so we're going to quickly go through exercises, resources, and homework. So I want to make sure you're not missing some of our value-added resources. And this week is power-packed. Now, you're going to have the opportunity to identify your core values, identify your fantastic 5-star qualities, and you're going to have an opportunity to command the room, to choose your first story. Now, all that is in our resource center, right? Where you find the Zoom link and where you find the community page, where you can leave a testimonial, which I would love, please do. And you are also being given 2 value add bonuses. One is the media pitch blueprint. It is the best outline for a media pitch I've ever seen. So I am giving you the media pitch blueprint to pitch media. I'm also giving you my sexy list of the top media outlets, podcasts, magazines, newspapers, TV stations, everything. I'm giving you every title that I think is truly a top tier media outlet that you have the opportunity to get in front of. So you have now a blueprint to create your media pitch and a listing of the top media outlets. I mean, it could be radio, podcast, TV, magazine, newspaper, any of those. All right. So I hope you guys find value in that. And I can't wait to see your homework this next week. And my final encouragement for each and every one of you that came today is to be brave. Again, in my experience, visibility becomes effortless when your platform, your message, and your audience are aligned. Now we're giving you the platforms. We're giving you the opportunity to really step up and speak up to the audiences that need to hear your message. And I cannot wait to see each and every one of you in big platforms, big opportunities across the media. The goal isn't necessarily to do more. You don't necessarily want to be on TV every single week, but it's to do less with greater clarity and greater consistency. So as they see you on television, on podcasts, on social media, they check out your website, it is clear and it is consistent. As you take bold action on mastering media outreach, know that you're not just growing your brand, you're building a movement of influence and trust. And of course, if you'd like help mastering media outreach, I'd be honored to help each and every one of you. So please be sure to post your homework. Now, I will say I probably spent this past week in total, well, probably since the beginning, a total of like 10, 15 hours responding to people's homework because I deeply care. If you continue to post your homework, it may not be immediately, but within that week or within a short framework of time, I promise to really go through it, really read it, edit it, make suggestions, make recommendations. And this week is so important to really get your story down. All right. So, final thought is again, the opportunity that you have this week only. Now, let me just say that all of you have taken a significant step by participating in our masterclass, gaining insights and strategies to enhance your leadership journey. To continue this kind of momentum, we're inviting you to join leadHERship Global. It's a community dedicated to empowering women leaders like each and every one of you. Together, we're going to navigate the challenges that are facing each and every one of our businesses. We're going to celebrate successes. We're going to achieve our most ambitious goals faster. So if this is something you're interested in, please visit leadhershipglobal.com to learn more and to become part of our transformative network. You have the opportunity to expand your influence and visibility, build powerful connections and collaborations, and accelerate growth with expert guidance. That's tapping into mentorship, advisory services, tailored learning programs, all designed to sharpen your skills and overcome challenges and achieve lasting success. Now, our offer today is like, holy cow. And I promise to deliver on every single one of these for anyone who decides to take action this week. So if you take action today through next Wednesday, we're going to partner with you and we're going to help you begin leveraging real media opportunities. I gotta say, how much would this be worth to you? At $3,200 worth of value, this is much more than the cost of our first two levels of membership. You're going to get a TV interview on Thriving Women TV Network. You're going to get a podcast interview on leadHERship Global, which is run not only a top 10 podcast in Africa, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, North America, South America. It's in the top 10, if not top 5 around the world. But it also is aired on television. So your podcast will be seen on TV as well as iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, everywhere, plus Roku, Hulu, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. It'll be there too. And the tailored message workshop, that is going to be incredible. This is where we're going to work with you on your media pitch and your storyline to really land those opportunities.